All right, so today we're going to be doing a deep dive into Lullaby of Champions by Canibus. This track is, it's really something special. We're going to be taking a look at the lyrics, and we've got some expert commentary to help guide us through it.
Yeah, you know what's really interesting about Lullaby of Champions is how Canvas sets the tone right away. Like, right off the bat, you get this sense of warning, almost like
Yeah.
like he's bracing you for something. But then at the same time, there's this encouragement there too, like a sage offering advice.
Yeah, I totally hear that. It's like he's getting you ready for some rough times ahead, but also saying, hey, I'm here to help you through it. Like in that line, fallen angels make obstacles to stop us.
Exactly. That's that kind of duality I'm talking about.
But then he also says, I'm going to hold hands and walk with you. All of you, I honor you. Plus, I got a lot of jewels to offer you. It's like, it's going to be tough, but we're in this together.
Yeah, there's a real mentorship vibe in this song. Like, he's not just rapping, he's trying to impart some wisdom, guide his listeners.
And the world he's describing is a pretty intense one. You've got these recurring images of angels both fallen and not. And then there's that Comet 9/11 line.
Yeah, that's not exactly typical hip-hop imagery.
Not exactly party anthem material.
No, not at all. It's like he sees these forces at work in the world, both physical and, I don't know, almost spiritual.
Right, and amidst all this chaos, there's this big emphasis on faith.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like when he says, I came to tell you that the angels believe in you. They believe in me too, so I ain't gonna leave you. And later he says, the Elohim believe in you.
It's interesting how he uses both of those terms. Angels is more universal, but Elohim is more specific, almost mystical.
Right, like he's trying to connect with people on different levels. But what I find interesting is it's not just blind faith he's talking about. He's also super critical of people in power. It's like he's saying, believe in something greater, but don't just blindly trust authority.
That's a great point. You can definitely see that tension in the lyrics. Like, in that line, they use fear and confusion to control us, tell us to donate, then rob us for our emotions.
Yeah, he's not holding back.
Not at all.
And he even gets specific, like when he brings up Haiti.
Yeah.
And he questions where all the relief money went after the earthquake.
It really grounds his critique in reality. He's not just talking in abstractions.
Right, it makes it hit a lot harder.
Definitely.
So we've got faith, we've got skepticism of authority, but there's also this strong sense of community and self-reliance in Lullaby of Champions.
Absolutely. He's not just pointing out the problems, he's offering solutions, too.
Right. It's like he's saying, look, the world's messed up, but we can get through this together. We got to rely on each other and believe in ourselves.
Exactly.
That's what makes those lines. Like, the God-honest truth is that I would do the same thing if I was you, and all we got is each other. So powerful.
Totally. He's fostering a sense of unity. Like, we're all in this together.
Yeah, and there's this one line that just really stuck with me. It's kind of paradoxical, but also hopeful. The first shall be last, and last shall be first. It's not going to get better before it gets worse.
That's a great one. It's like he's saying sometimes you got to go through the tough times to come out stronger on the other side.
Yeah, embrace the struggle as part of the journey.
Exactly.
And that seems to be a recurring theme with Canibus. He's always challenging us to think differently.
To look beyond the surface.
And to find the deeper meaning.
Which brings us to the lyrics themselves. The way he crafts these words in Lullaby of Champions, it's just next level.
Absolutely. The wordplay is insane.
It's like a puzzle you got to unravel. He uses metaphors, double meanings, even scientific terms.
Like, for example, he says, Atomic Godzilla just fucked Japan up.
Yeah.
On the surface, it's like, whoa, that's a crazy image.
Right.
But there's so much more going on there.
He's taking this pop culture icon, Godzilla, and he's linking it to the real-world devastation of the atomic bombs.
Wow.
It's like he's highlighting the destructive power that we as humans have.
And then he immediately follows that with the Haiti example, connecting these huge global events to very specific human suffering.
It's a masterful use of contrast. He's showing us that these big concepts have real-world consequences on both a grand scale and on an individual level.
Yeah, it's really powerful stuff. It's like he's saying, wake up and pay attention because this is happening all around us.
Exactly. He's not letting us off the hook. He's making us confront the reality of the world we live in.
And that's what makes Lullaby of Champions such a challenging and rewarding listen. It's not just music, it's a call to action.
It's a wake-up call. And it's a masterpiece of lyrical artistry.
Absolutely. So if you haven't heard Lullaby of Champions yet, I highly recommend checking it out. You won't be disappointed.
It's a journey you won't soon forget.
And it all ties back to that idea of self-reliance. Like he's saying, yeah, the systems are messed up, but you can't just sit around and wait for someone else to fix it.
Exactly. You got to take responsibility for your own life.
And there was this one line that really gets to the heart of that. Fear shuts down the evolution process.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's like he's saying that fear can literally prevent us from growing.
Yeah, it's not just about feeling afraid. It's about how fear can limit our potential.
Both individually and as a species.
Right. In a world that's constantly changing, we can't afford to let fear hold us back.
And speaking of things that are constantly changing, there's that line that's been kind of haunting me since we started talking about this song. Come at 9/11 is coming, nobody's saying nothing. What do you think that's all about?
Oh, man, that's where Canibus's cryptic side really comes out.
Right.
I mean, Comet 9/11 could be a lot of things. On a literal level, it could be about some kind of celestial event.
Like an actual comet.
Yeah, adding to that sense of impending doom that runs through the whole song.
But it feels like it's more than that. Like it's a metaphor for something bigger.
Yeah, definitely. It could be about societal collapse, a global crisis, an economic crash, even a spiritual awakening.
Wow.
He leaves it open to interpretation.
So it's up to us to figure out what it means to us.
Exactly.
That's what makes Lullaby of Champions so engaging. It's not just about finding one right answer.
It's about the journey of exploration.
And the path that he lays out for us in this song. It's about resilience, self-discovery, and coming together in the face of adversity.
It's a powerful message.
It really is. So for anyone who wants to go on that journey themselves, where can they find Lullaby of Champions?
Well, you can check it out on Seer Radio, which is Canibus's own platform on Spotify.
Awesome. And if you're more of a visual person, there's a great lyric video on the RIPPERSUNITE YouTube channel.
Both are great resources for diving into the song.
Before we move on, I wanted to go back to something you said earlier about how Canibus uses such complex language,
Oh, yeah. He's not afraid to get intellectual.
sometimes even scientific.
It's one of the things that makes his work so rewarding.
Can you give us an example?
Sure. Take the line, "My penmanship is calligraphy on a nuclear scale."
Okay.
On the surface, it's a boast about his skills.
Right.
But there's more to it than that.
How so?
Well, he's using the image of calligraphy, which is all about precision-controlled discipline.
I see.
But then he adds nuclear scale.
Right.
It's like he's taking this art form
And amplifying it to this massive level.
Exactly. It's not just writing anymore. It's a force of nature.
Wow.
It's a testament to his belief in the power of language.
It's like he's saying, pay attention because my words matter.
They have weight, and that weight comes from the thought and the intention behind them.
That's what makes him such a unique artist.
He's not just stringing words together. He's crafting these intricate tapestries of meaning.
And he's always playing with layers of meaning and double entendres.
Oh, absolutely. It's like he's creating these multi-dimensional puzzles.
Like that line, for those who ain't soldiers or scholars, my catalog is a horror.
That's a great example.
Break that down for us.
Well, on the surface, it sounds like he's saying his music isn't for everyone.
Right.
But then he uses those terms soldiers and scholars.
So he's drawing a distinction between different ways of engaging with the world.
Yeah, like the soldiers are the ones fighting for change.
And the scholars are the ones seeking knowledge and understanding.
Right.
But then he throws in that word horror.
Which adds a whole other layer.
Is he saying his music is scary?
Maybe. Or is he using horror more metaphorically?
Like suggesting that people who aren't ready for his style might find it overwhelming?
Exactly. It's like he's daring us to rise to the challenge.
To become those soldiers or scholars.
And engage with his work on a deeper level.
Because that's where the real rewards are.
When you start to unravel the layers of meaning in Canibus's lyrics, you discover a whole new world of thought and possibility. He's like built this fortress of words, and then he invites us to come explore it.
Yeah, and it's an exploration that can be tough, but also really rewarding.
Oh, absolutely. It's not like you can just passively listen to Canibus. He demands your attention.
Right.
He makes you think.
Makes you question everything.
And in doing so, he elevates hip-hop to a whole other level.
And for all the complexity, he never loses that raw honesty in his lyrics. Like in the line, even my shadow knows that I'm not perfect.
Yeah, that's a great example. He's this lyrical genius, but he's still human. He's not afraid to show his flaws.
And that makes him even more relatable.
Exactly. It's that mix of brilliance and vulnerability that makes Lullaby of Champions so powerful.
So as we wrap up our deep dive here, what are some key takeaways for our listeners?
Well, I think the biggest one is that call to action. Canibus is urging us to take control of our lives, to be critical thinkers, to challenge the way things are.
And he's doing it all with this incredible mastery of language.
Yeah, he's pushing the boundaries of what hip-hop can be.
So if you're looking for music that will make you think, feel, and question everything, Lullaby of Champions is definitely worth a listen.
It's a journey that'll stick with you long after the song is over.
And you can find it on C Radio on Spotify. Or check out the lyric video on the Rippers Unite YouTube channel.
Both are great ways to experience the genius of Canibus.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for our deep dive into Lullaby of Champions. Until next time, keep those minds sharp and those ears open for more deep dives into the world of knowledge and sound.